Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome back to another movie review. And reviewing another film that I do enjoy. I would probably rate this one as an underrated. I would definitely say a very underrated movie, and especially for one particular actor, which if referred to one actor, this particular actor, which the problems he had in the past over the years, yeah. But I would say, film-wise, I think probably this will be, to me, like his best film, to me, I guess, because I've not thought of any other movie with him in it, starring him, that I've enjoyed. Well, I know some of those movies in the past before this I liked, but afterwards, I'm referring to. And I think it's a really good science fiction thriller movie as well. And that is of The Arrival, starring Charlie Sheen. And like I said before, like I said, about this guy Charlie Sheen, how the problems he had over the years. You know, well, I think it was either drug or abuse. I don't remember. I remember what though, but because I know it was one of the reasons that he was booed off of his show Two and a Half Men. I know that it was like one of those particular reasons that he was. Which I've never watched Two and a Half Men anyway, but it was like he was causing he was having problems, and like he was a drug abuse or anything was abuse. I forget though, but it was one of the reasons why he got himself booed off of Two and a Half Men, and some other reasons before that though, but still, or drinking or whatever. But Charlie Sheen, he's probably side. He is a very decent actor. I know his brother Emilio Estevez. You know, which I liked him when they started together in which Emilio Estevez directed. You know, Men at Work. I like Men at Work. Where the two brothers they starred together. I liked them in that, and even like Charlie Sheen's like his little role in Ferris Bueller's Day Off, talking with Jennifer Grey. He's like, "What are you in it for? Drugs." But Charlie Sheen, other films that I've been see what, well, Wall Street with Michael Douglas. I'm not particularly fan of though, honestly though. But he had a supporting role in Platoon, and I liked him in the original Red Dawn with Patrick Swayze, where he played Patrick Swayze's brother. Young Guns he was in, Major League, Hot Shots Part 1 and Part 2 I thoroughly enjoy. I enjoy both those movies. Hot Shots Part 1 and the first one, and Part 2, the sequel. Loaded he had a cameo in Loaded Weapon 1. He voiced Charlie Barkin in the sequel All Dogs Go to Heaven 2. The Disney's, the 1993 Disney's of The Three Musketeers. But I did not like Scary Movie 3. I did not like Scary Movie 4, even 5. This goes, I kiss my ass. Hate Scary Movie 5. Machete Kills. He plays a president. You know, he's as good as from his early movies. You know, so. But like I said, Red Dawn, look at Platoon. Not particularly a fan of Wall Street. Just not. But 8 Man Out, Major League, but I enjoy Hot Shots Part 1 and 2. But all the films like I mentioned, I think this one right here, I think this is his, to me, I think my favorite movie of Charlie Sheen's. Especially, I think it's more of his I think some people could say Wall Street though, but serious and a role for him, like, well, I say Wall Street is, but him in this him starring in a science fiction thriller, basically, which is kind of like out of his element though. But I think he did a really great job in this movie. I enjoy The Arrival. I think it's an underrated movie, and probably the most underrated for Charlie Sheen to me. I think. So, and this came out in 1996. It was in a time when Independence Day came out. Well, this came out first though, but it was like a month before Independence Day came out. But this film didn't do that well. It did get some praise. Then it has a 64% Rotten Tomatoes, a 6.3 on IMDb. But this didn't do that well. I think it was like a budget of $25 million and only made $14 million. So the film bombed, sadly. But it did get praise, like down here from Los Angeles Times, a science fiction thriller that'll keep you at the edge of your seat. In the back here, Newsday gave this film 4.5 stars. New York Post also gave this a 4.5 stars. And 2 thumbs up from Siskel and Ebert. So there has been some so critics, even including Siskel and Ebert, they gave this film a pass. It's nice. And this doesn't have any features though, Sally. I know there's probably overseas there is probably features for this though, but this one is bare bones. Even the main menu sucks when you look at it. But this film didn't deserve to bomb though. But at least it got praise. So probably for Charlie Sheen and the effects probably. But Charlie Sheen, he does a really great job. And as supporting cast, you have Lindsay Crouse, Teri Polo, and Ron Silver, which he's a bad guy in this as well. Which Ron Silver, he was a bad guy in the action film Deadly Outbreak with Jeff Speakman, remember? And then he was also the bad guy in Time Cop with Jean-Claude Van Damme. And he also he was in Silent Rage with Chuck Norris. And I like Ron Silver as an actor. He's a good actor, and sadly he's now no longer with us. He passed away back in 2009, sadly. So may he rest in peace. But Ron Silver did a good job. He's him right there with the glasses. So he did a good job in this film. And it's directed by David Twohy. Mispronounced his last name, but directed by David Twohy, which he going to direct the Riddick trilogy. You know, first Pitch Black, and then the Chronicles of Riddick, and then 2013 sequel just called Riddick. And he also directed A Perfect Getaway, the one with Emilio Estevez, Steve Zahn, and Chris Hemsworth. You know, and then he also directed that submarine horror movie called Below. But yeah, before that, he directed this film, and I think he did a really great job in this movie. And so, director, cast. I think I like the score of this film as well by Arthur Kemple. I think the score was good as well. The effects I thought was pretty. Well, there's certain very like shoddy CGI for certain things in it, but overall, I don't think the effects weren't that bad. Now, as for plot wise. Charlie Sheen, he plays this character named Zane Zeminski. He's this radio astronomer at this place, and he has a friend of his that's working on, played by Richard Schiff. Richard Schiff, which you've recognized him if you would. This was 96. The next year after 97, he'd go and star in The Lost World Jurassic Park. He was the character Eddie Carr, which he was trying to help Jeff Goldblum and the others drive him up, pull him off the cliff, but then he gets again torn apart by the 2 T-Rexes. That was him. And recently he'd been starring in that show with Freddie Highmore, The Good Doctor, which is the guy the character Freddie Highmore looks up to. Which I don't hardly watch the show, but my mother, she watches that show. She loves that show, The Good Doctor. She particularly loves Freddie Highmore in that role. So, but Richard Schiff, he stars in that show as well. But he plays a buddy of Charlie Sheen in this. Then they pick up there. They're just listening, and they pick up this weird signal, and signs of other life out there. And it's sky based, some up beyond. So he goes to talk with his basically his boss, like played by Gordy, he calls him, played by Ron Silver, and basically then he goes all this nonsense, but basically he gets fired from his job basically, and the final line is like, "I bring you all this, and I get shit canned for this." So. And he's also having a little bit of relationships with the problems with his girlfriend. What was the girlfriend's name? Same back in here, but she's played by Teri Polo, which what was her? I know I've seen her in other stuff too. Shar has her name, her character's name. Which I think, yeah, she was in the film with John Travolta, Domestic Disturbance. She played John Travolta's ex-wife, and she was married to Vince Vaughn, who was a psychopath in that movie. So yeah, she was in that movie, Domestic Disturbance. And one thing when he has a job working at a satellite company, he takes all this he goes to his house, and up in his attic he sets up this makeshift place to recreate like what he was doing at his old job. And on the way he meets this kid named Kiki, who's like, you know, like, was curious about what he's doing. And then one thing to another, he gets the same signal again, and this time you see the same signal, but it's also, you hear like this Mexican type music that's playing with interacting with the signal, and this time it's not sky based, it's Earth based, so it's coming from Earth, and it's somewhere in Mexico. So he flies down there and talks with this like cab driver. He's like, "You want to see the ruins?" Because he wants to go to he was playing at this particular radio station, but by the time he gets there, the place is already burned down. So he's at his hotel, you know, see if there's any messages from his girlfriend, and then suddenly they're it's like well, first he sees his old guy who's been watching him, and it's basically they want to kill him basically, because he knows about what's going on. He's trying to figure out they have a feeling that he knows what's going on with them. So, like he says, he's sitting in his bathtub and he sees that it's leaking from above him. Then he gets out of the way in the nick of time when another bathtub drops on top and it falls from floor to floor. And he sees that old guy and he chases after him. And once he corners him, he's like, "You've been following me, you know, what's going on, all that stuff." And by the time he turns away, the old guy, who's actually really an alien, he kind of like bends his legs and they can just jump to high place. He jumps on top of the roof and he's like, "How did he get up there?" basically. And then when he later meets up with Lindsay Crouse, who in the opening of the movie she's in the Arctic, but thing is though, at first we see her like in a little patch of grass, but when the camera zooms out, it's in the Arctic, so she's wondering what's going on. And throughout the whole movie, you know, the temperatures, the weather, it's been really hot throughout the whole movie. So it's also the thing that the aliens, the thing is that they don't like cold basically, so they try to keep it as warm as they can. And when he's talking with she's talking to Charlie Sheen, explaining that there's like global warming, and it's basically though the climate change is rising up, it's be catastrophic. It's more than that as well. And with Charlie Sheen, from what he was listening to this particular guy at this where he used to work at, and he said it's terraforming. So when he leaves, the girl, the old guy from before, who was Charlie Sheen was chasing after them, he puts these scorpions in her place, in her hotel room, and later we find out that she dies Which kind of makes it's funny that she's like the second name in the credits, though. It makes it seem like they're the main characters, but actually no, she dies basically when they find her body later, because she was killed by the scorpions when they reveal her body later. And Charlie Sheen, he sneaks back into that facility where they were held at, because he recognized one of the officers that looked exactly like Ron Silver, except with a mustache. So he's wondering what was going on. So he sees that cab driver from earlier, sneaks into his car to get into the place, and he sees this giant satellite popping up out of the ground. So he gets inside there, and as he's going down, he sees all this weird weird mechanisms, and like this one thing that's bursting out like green bubbles or whatever, or misty bubbles or whatever, and then he sees the aliens. Like one particular, like how I like the way the aliens, the look of the aliens I liked. I think some of it was practical and a little mix of CG though, but the design wise, I like the look of the aliens. Like this here, well, if you can barely see it because it's black right here though, but if you can see it like right here, if I bring it close enough, you can see it. But or better yet, right here on the back of here, if you can see that though. But I like the look of the aliens. Like the back of their heads, it's like kind of like flabby, but it's like a little bit flabby where it's like the brain area is, I think. And you see Charlie Sheen, like one alien, go up to the device and makes the alien look like a human, you know, to blend in. So and then an alien sees him, alerts the other aliens. And he's trying to find a way to get out of this, so he's looking, and he gets in that same device, and it makes himself look like another person. And it appears to be working. He's walking around like bypass a couple of other people that are aliens disguised as humans. And then he gets into that elevator where he meets with that cab driver from earlier. And he's noticed something peculiar about Charlie Sheen. Well, he doesn't know it was Charlie Sheen yet, though. But he starts speaking in alien language, and then Charlie Sheen goes and whispers like, "Did you want to see the ruins now, friend?" And then the guy is like surprised, and then Charlie Sheen just goes and pushes him out of the elevator. So, and he escapes. He rips off rips the face off, and then he makes his way back to the States, and where he talks with Ron Silver again. Sorry. He talks with meets up with Ron Silver again, and finds out he is in with them, so he videotapes and records the whole thing. And while it was going on there was like back with the kid Kiki, and which he doesn't know anything was going on, and he sees like these people are, you know, gardeners, and which one of them puts like this sphere like device in his place where his equipment is, and it's kind of like it sucks everything in the thing. Maybe you can say it's a portable black hole basically, because it sucks everything in like a black hole. So, but it's like an orb or a sphere type of thing. So to get rid of any evidence of the alien's existence, basically. And by the time he gets back there, he talks with Kiki, and when he goes to the place and finds the whole place empty, and Kiki goes and says, "Shit, you've been evicted." or get another funny line when he gets back to the States, when he talks with Ron Silver again, and it's like, Ron Silver's like, "You don't look so well," and Charlie Sheen goes like, "Well, I look like I look like a bunch of smashed assholes. I don't know what I meant though, but it was funny what Charlie Sheen says. So it's not a funny line, but then when the time he gets to his place, finds it empty, and the kid's like, "Shit, you've been evicted." So then his girlfriend comes back, Teri, Polo, wants to help. So all three of them, they drive out to his old job was, back to that satellite, and try to hook up. He wants to broadcast this whole thing all across the nation, where Ron Silver's confession, he was saying, "Don't tend to your planet. You don't deserve to be here," basically, and the whole terraforming and all stuff when he was talking to Ron Silver. But those people, the aliens, they get there, they trash the place, and Ron Silver gets there too. So Charlie Sheen and Teri Polo, they run to the other part of the place to turn on. To help turn on the satellite, where he waits. Kiki stands by waiting to push this button here, and when he does, which at first also that Charlie Sheen, he suspects that Teri Polo is an alien, because like, whoa, you call the police, or by the time I get here, they show up and all that stuff. So he's being paranoid, because he thinks that she's in with them as well. And when he's trying to hold them off, to hold the doors closed, she's like, "For once in your paranoid life, can you trust me?" So he's everything, the system's ready, and he's waiting for the kid to pull the switch, but twist, which when I first saw this, I didn't see coming though. When I first saw this, I didn't see coming that the kid, he's actually an alien. He's giving that look, and then he just walks away and lets Ron Silver in. So he goes and takes the tape, and then he gets an idea. When they're in their van, and they ram the door in. As soon as they all come out, Charlie Sheen hits them all with a bunch of liquid nitrogen to freeze them, and all of them, including Ron Silver, he digs in his coat to get the tape, and he goes and chops off his hand, and then there's another one of those portable black hole spheres. While Teri Polo gets up in the satellite, the thing gets activated, and everything gets sucked in. The whole thing collapses, and then he sees the kid Kiki, who's an alien. He tells them, what he says, forget what. You tell them that I'm gonna put this. It's not gonna be easy though, but you tell them. I'm gonna tell everybody. So basically, the kid goes and he gets it, so he goes and runs away. And then it ends with the broadcast of the tape being played across all the TV stations. Yeah, all of him talking with Ron Silver, as Ron Silver's confessing all this. So, and then, well, first I'll get that in a second. But I really enjoyed the movie. I'm perfectly fine how the way it ends, and because Charlie Sheen, he succeeds and exposing the aliens, what they are. But I think he did a really great job. But sadly though, so the film didn't do that well though. But it still got a sequel 2 years later, 1998 though, which there is a DVD that includes a double feature of the first film and the second film. The second film was. The second film was bad. It was, and plus the character, what they did with Charlie Sheen's character, he was like, they said he was found dead somewhere. I forget though, but it was that forgettable. So yeah, I don't like what they did with Charlie Sheen's character. But this is the second film. The guy, like his brother, played by Patrick Muldoon. It was a shitty sequel. I don't own it because I don't want to own a double feature where it has this second film where I don't want to watch it. I'm fine, happy with just having, because I got this on DVD a while back because I just want to have the DVD, the first film by itself. I don't want a double feature with the second film, which was a shitty sequel. So glad I found this, just the first film by itself. Yeah. So, and plus, you know, we know that a lot of times the sequels, they do always tend to kill the main character from a previous film off. So I'm fine with this one. I don't need to see a sequel. Well, I don't need to have the sequel. So it was bad enough anyway. So, but Charlie Sheen does a really great job. I think that's why it's his most underrated performance, and to me, his best movie. Like all the mentioned films I mentioned, though, I think this one is the most underrated. But I think this is my favorite film with Charlie Sheen. Him starring in this good science fiction thriller, basically, and his performance in the well, he did a really great job. The cast of Ron Silver, may he rest in peace. He did a good job. Teri Polo is playing as his girlfriend Char. She was good. Lindsay Crouse too as the Green. What was her name? I think it was Green. Score by Arthur Kemple was good. The pacing it's on for 109 minutes. Was well paced. I didn't think it was not that boring at all to me. The good directing by it was directed by David Twohy, but he also helped write it, so he did a good job directing and writing wise. The design and look of the aliens, I like the design of them, and I like the kind of like some of the ideas that go with how the way they do it to transform it to become humans. Even with a little twist that when I first saw this, I didn't see coming with that the kid he was actually an alien too. I didn't see that coming as well. And yeah, and although it doesn't say on the DVD here, but it was but looking at what a company it was made from, it was made by Orion, which is responsible for a lot of other movies as well. Orion Pictures, I think it was, which that company has been coming back recently. I mean, I remember which I think I didn't mention in my review, but the Belko Experiment. I think I didn't mention it was in my review that I don't think I mentioned it was made by Orion Pictures. So yeah, and then recently, just not that long ago, when I did my thoughts on the trailer for the remake of Child's Play. That's also being made by Orion Pictures, so they're coming back. So they're making kind of like making a comeback, I would say. I mean, I like the Belko Experiment, and I'm very curious about my surprise positive thoughts that I gave on the remake of Child's Play. Probably because as I aforementioned that Dominant Scene does not like that, which I'm happy about, because hey, he made crappy sequel after another, so I'm happy he's mad about the remake. Probably that's why I mentioned, because he's pissed about it. But Orion Pictures, they also did Silence of the Lambs, Rambo, First Blood, the first Terminator, RoboCop, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures, The Three Amigos, I remember. Throw a Mama from a Train, The Addams Family, Dances with Wolves, yeah. Which they at the time, you know, they were like kind of like fading away though, but I guess they got revived. That's what I remember when I saw the trailer for the Belko Experiment. That company is made the Belko Experiment, and then now recently for the Child's Play remake. But it doesn't say on it doesn't show on the DVD though. But it's been made by Orion Pictures, so I'm want to bring it up. So, but I really enjoyed The Arrival. I think it's an underrated science fiction movie, underrated alien movie, underrated Charlie Sheen movie. I think what is to me his best performance, and it's like a more serious performance in a science fiction thriller. Just how the way he performs in this film. That's why I say it's my favorite performance from him. I know the guy, you know, the past how many years since he caused trouble. I mean, I don't hear much. We don't hear much from him nowadays. Maybe he's got us back. Maybe he's back on track. Maybe I don't know. But even though it's not at the same time it's not excusable for what he did, you know, for the whether it's the drug problems or the drinking problems, and one of the reasons why he got himself booed off his the show the time he was doing good at on 2.5 Men. But I give him a lot of praise for this film. I do. I enjoy The Arrival. To me, it's the most underrated movie, and let alone to me his best film. I just don't like what they did with his character in the sequel. That's why I don't own the sequel. It's a very crappy sequel anyway. It's not needed. But at least this film got a lot of praise, despite being a fail at the box office. And plus, I like the way the poster looks as well. I like the way this poster is. But yeah, so that's my my review of The Arrival. I'll put this as underrated. I would say, The Arrival, underrated, because it is. It deserves more praise than and like I said, it's under the radar and it tends to be forgotten sometimes. So I would definitely put this as an underrated movie. Charlie Sheen did a good job, the cast wise, and the film I would give it a thumbs up. And yeah, good science fiction thriller film, especially for a particular actor out of his comfort zone, basically. Yeah, but that's my review of The Arrival. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned on the next movie review. Later.